What's up, everybody? It's the Benchwarmers, and today we're going to be having our series preview of the Hawks-Sixers series. So this is going to be a really interesting series, and I think there's going to be a lot of moving factors into this. You have Sixers who are experienced, but they've never made to the conference finals, and they're the 1 seed, versus the Hawks, who are on their first time being in the playoffs, and many people chose against them, but they manhandled the Knicks quite well in the first round. So with that said, we're going to have three of our most interesting takes about the series. I'm going to start with Joel Embiid's meniscus injury. So his meniscus injury is a small tear, which kept him out for games 4 and 5 of the Wizards series. And the Sixers went 1-1 without him and were obviously worse versus the Wizards when he wasn't on the court. However, reports are suggesting that he is looking a little bit better, and he is shooting well. He's moving a little bit better, but I don't think he'll be at 100% because he doesn't want to risk tearing his meniscus fully. For reference, a guy of similar stature like James Wiseman, when he had a full meniscus tear, was out for 4 to 6 months. His season was over, and they don't want that to happen to Joel Embiid. So that's going to be a huge factor in this series. And even if he does play through it, he won't be at 100%. He might be at 80 to 90%, and he's going to be facing one of the best defensive bigs in the game, Clint Capella. So will that limit his effectiveness? I don't know. It depends on how well he's going, how well his shot is going, because if his shot is falling, then Clint Capella is functionally useless because he doesn't defend anything outside of 5 to 10 feet. But I think overall, the series sort of lies in the balance of Joel Embiid's health.
I totally agree with that, but I think one other important aspect is the three-point shot, because as you hinted, both teams have very good paint defense, so they're both going to have to take more three-point shots. So when you look at the Hawks, Clint Capella and John Collins are really good paint defenders, and they're also really good at rebounding in the paint. So I think the Sixers are definitely going to have to take more three-point shots. So I think Seth Curry, Danny Green, and Matisse Thybulle are probably going to get more minutes with Embiid out. So they're going to probably take more three-point shots. And I think Doc Rivers is also going to somehow adjust the game plan to accommodate for more three-point shots, because attacking in the paint is going to be more difficult. And then when you look at the Sixers also have pretty good paint defense. So even when Embiid's out, Ben Simmons and Thybulle are still solid edge paint defenders, and Dwight Howard as well when he's in the game. So the Hawks are already taking a lot of three-point shots with Trae Young and Bogdan Bogdanovic being decently efficient three-point shooters. But I think more Hawks players are going to have to step up and take three-point shots. And they're also going to have to take better shots instead of randomly pulling up for threes, because that makes them inefficient. So I think the team that has a more efficient and more prolific three-point shot will have the edge in this series.
And I'm going to talk about one player specifically, and that is Trae Young. As a Knicks fan, I watched the whole series, and I'm not going to lie, he left me with some emotional trauma because of just how unbelievable he is. If you give him space on the perimeter, he's going to shoot a three. And if you play hard defense, he's going to draw a foul. And then if you let him drive, then he's going to either shoot the floater or he's going to play make. And there's pretty much no way to stop that, except the Sixers do have the best defense in the league, arguably, and two of the best perimeter defenders in Ben Simmons and Matisse Thybulle. So it will be interesting to see whether they can deal with him. I think they will do a better job than the Knicks, even though Knicks statistically were the better team defensively during the regular season. They just didn't really have the experience. So I think Trae Young is going to be good, but just not as good as he was during the Knicks series.
Yeah, I think that based on this, I think that Trae Young will be contained to an extent. It's his first time in the playoffs, and reality is gonna hit him hard this series. I think Ben Simmons, Matisse Thybulle, Danny Green, and that whole Sixers perimeter defensive unit is gonna do quite well on a player like Trae Young. And I think that players like Bogdanovic, Kevin Huerter, DeAndre Hunter, I don't know if they'll be able to step up sufficiently. And even if Joel Embiid's meniscus injury limits him, I think his decent play, or Tobias Harris's play, and you have random nights where players like Seth Curry can go up for 25 or 30 points, as we saw in Game 5. I think that if everyone on the Sixers is locked and loaded, because they've been in the playoffs, they've been in situations like this. They pushed the championship Raptors team to 7 games, and they've only gotten better since then. So I think that the series will be quite simple. It should be the Sixers winning in 6 games. I can see Trae Young going off for a couple of games, but I do think that the Sixers will eventually win.
I agree with your take. I also have the Sixers going in 6 as the situation looks right now. But assuming Embiid can play, I would actually have them winning in 4 or 5 games because I think Embiid is just such an important part of the team. And I also have the Sixers winning just because I think they're a better team offensively and defensively, and there's nothing the Hawks can do about that.
Yeah, I agree with both of you. I actually have the Sixers winning in 5. Obviously, it is dependent on Embiid's status, but I just don't think Trey Young is enough to compete really and to carry against his whole team against one of the best defensive teams in the league. So I just don't really think the Hawks stand a chance. That wraps it up for this series preview of the conference semifinals. The next one will be between the Nuggets and the Suns. This is the Benchwarmer signing out. See ya.